when the boss talks gossip.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're jumping straight into Wimbledon, specifically day 3.
That's right.
And our mission really is to sift through all this stuff we've got. Celeb sightings, fashion notes, some personal stories, and of course, the tennis itself.
Yeah, quite a mix.
The idea is to quickly get you, our listener, sort of up to speed on this really vibrant day, maybe with some details you wouldn't expect. Let's get right into it.
Sounds good. And it's fascinating, isn't it, how one event, Wimbledon, becomes this nexus point.
A nexus.
Yeah, like where all these different stories crash together.
Yeah.
You've got the sport, obviously, but also fashion, celebrity culture.
And sometimes, yeah, even some pretty intense personal drama kind of playing out right there.
Exactly. So we'll try and connect some of those dots from day 3, what really stood out.
Okay, let's kick off with, well, a couple that seem to be everywhere. Olivia Rodrigo and Louis Partridge.
Ah, yes.
Our sources definitely picked up on their affection, holding hands, cuddling up a bit. They're both 22, right?
That's right, yeah. And those dating rumors started back in, what, October 2023?
Yeah, sounds about right. And their clothes, they were really in sync.
Oh, totally.
Olivia wore that scarlet and cream checkered dress she'd just come from headlining Glastonbury, actually.
Right, I remember seeing pictures of that.
And Louis, from Enola Holmes, he had a scarlet tie that perfectly matched her dress with a navy suit. Looked sharp.
Mm-hmm. And beyond just looking, loved up or smitten, as the report said,
Yeah.
there's something else going on there, I think. These public appearances, especially with the coordinated outfits. It's a glimpse into their relationship, sure,
Okay.
but it also plays into Olivia's whole self-professed love of all things British.
Oh, right. She mentioned egg and soldiers and Colin the caterpillar cakes at Glasgow, didn't she?
Exactly. Egg and soldiers, M&S caterpillars. So seeing her at Wimbledon, which is peak British summer with the strawberries, cream, Pimm's, it just fits perfectly. It reinforces that image.
Ah, I see. Kind of clever branding, almost.
Sort of, yeah. It broadens her appeal, maybe,
Yeah.
beyond just the music. Connects her to that British culture she seems to genuinely enjoy.
Interesting take. Okay, moving on. Another very loved-up pair. Priyanka Chopra and Nick Jonas.
Always glamorous, those two.
Definitely. She's 42. He's 32. They were looking really elegant, posing in the Parkside suite. Priyanka was in this chic, white, high-necked dress.
Very stylish.
And Nick looked dapper, too. Navy blazer, cream chinos. Very classic Wimbledon look.
Mm-hmm. Fits the scene perfectly.
But then amidst all that glamour, there was a story with Dave Grohl and his wife, Jordan Blum, that, well, it had layers.
Right. On the surface, they looked great. He's 56, she's 49.
Yeah, sources noted their sophisticated outfits. Dave in a navy suit, lilac tie, his hair scraped back. Jordan wore a pale pink suit with a white lace vest underneath. Very put together.
Very polished. But this is where it gets really interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because what you see isn't always the full story. Well, the sources reveal that actually, unbeknownst to pretty much everyone there watching the tennis, Grohl had recently cheated on his wife.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. And the very next month, he welcomed a baby girl with another woman, Jennifer Young, who's 38.
Seriously, the month after Wimbledon.
That's what the reports indicate. It led to Dave making a very public sort of mea culpa in September, confirming the affair.
That must have been incredibly difficult.
Absolutely. And then other sources later in February stated that Jordan had apparently forgiven him, that they were trying to get the marriage back on track.
So that appearance at Wimbledon, it was right in the middle of all that private turmoil.
Exactly. It just throws into sharp relief that contrast,
Yeah.
the public facade, the smiles for the camera versus what might be happening behind closed doors. It's a stark reminder.
Yeah, definitely adds a different perspective to just seeing a photo. Okay, that's quite something.
It is.
Right, well, that story, as you said, really shows the layers. Let's maybe broaden out a bit to some of the other stars people spotted. Leslie Mann was there, looking very elegant. Pale yellow blazer top, white lace skirt, heels. Very chic.
Nice. Classic summer style.
And then Tom Daley. He always makes interesting fashion choices, doesn't he?
He certainly does. What was he wearing this time?
A gray suit, but with really oversized trousers. And a pale blue tie. But the standout, these incredibly chunky orange and white loafers.
Dunky loafers.
Yeah.
Orange and white. Wow.
Yeah. And he had a Christian Louboutin clutch bag, too. Definitely making a statement.
He really was. And, Tom Daley being there wasn't just about him being a spectator enjoying the tennis.
Oh, what else?
Well, if you connect the dots, he had a super busy schedule right around then. The night before, on Tuesday, he'd actually hosted this star-studded crochet event.
A crochet event? Seriously?
Yeah, in partnership with Diet Coke, apparently. It was all about celebrating his partnership with them and launching this summer's It's bag.
Wait, an It's bag for crochet?
Kind of. It was a crochet bag specifically designed to hold a single can of Diet Coke.
Okay, that's specific.
It is. But it's fascinating, right? How even a major sporting event like Wimbledon gets interwoven with these other cultural moments, brand partnerships, product launches.
That is interesting. It feels like these events are becoming platforms for more than just the main event itself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It shows how celebrities leverage these high-profile moments for their own brands and initiatives.
Does that ever feel a bit commercialized? Like seeing Wimbledon tied to a Diet Coke crochet bag, does it take away from the tradition for some people? Maybe.
That's a really good question. It probably does create a bit of tension. On one side, it brings in different crowds, keeps it feeling modern.
Right.
But yeah, on the other hand, for some purists, it might feel like it's chipping away at that traditional, almost exclusive Wimbledon vibe. It's definitely a balancing act these big events have to manage.
Fair enough. A sign of the times, I suppose. Who else was around?
Well, you mentioned spotting some others.
Oh, yeah. Dominic Cooper was there, looking pretty cool in a sky blue suit with matching casual trainers.
Nice. Relaxed, but smart.
And some football presence, too. Roy Hodgson, the former Crystal Palace manager, was with his wife Sheila, and Thomas Tuchel, the current England manager.
Ah, right. Always a few football faces turn up.
Definitely. Okay, so we've covered the stars, the fashion, even some unexpected drama. Let's switch focus now to the actual courts.
The tennis itself, yes.
And first off, the weather was much better on day 3, wasn't it?
Oh, huge difference. It cooled right down to about 26 Celsius, which is what, 79 Fahrenheit?
Yeah, much more pleasant than the day before. Tuesday was boiling 32 Celsius, 90 Fahrenheit.
Oof, yeah. That kind of heat is tough on the players and the spectators, too. So cooler conditions definitely help.
And that better weather set the stage for a pretty important day, especially for the Brits, right?
Absolutely crucial. Our sources said 7 British players were scheduled for their second-round matches that day, all trying to get into the third round.
It's a lot riding on it for the home crowd.
Huge amount. Big day for British tennis hopes.
Okay, so who are some of the key matches mentioned? I remember Cameron Norrie was playing.
That's right, Norrie against Francis Tiafoe from the U.S. Yeah. That's always a potentially tricky match. Tiafoe's got that aggressive style.
Yeah, can really rush opponents. And Carlos Alcaraz, the defending champ, he was playing too.
He was, against Oliver Tarvet, a British wild card. A massive opportunity for Tarvet, obviously, playing the champion.
Huge stage for him. And speaking of big stages, Emma Raducanu was on center court.
Yep, a massive match for her against Marketa Vondrousova, who's a former champion herself, remember?
Oh, wow. Yeah, so not just any match for Raducanu.
Not at all. A real test of where her game was at during that comeback phase.
Yeah.
Playing a Grand Slam winner on center court.
Yeah.
That's a proper benchmark.
Definitely. And Katie Boulter was playing, too.
She was, against Solana Sierra. Another really key one for British hopes, keeping that momentum going.
So, yeah, lots of intense action for the celebrities and everyone else in the stands to watch.
Exactly. They weren't just there for the pims and the photos. There was serious, high-stakes tennis unfolding.
What an incredible mix day 3 turned out to be then. You had the top-level sport, the celebrity glamour, the fashion moments.
Those really quite raw human stories bubbling underneath sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. It really drives home how much you can actually pull from digging into just one day at a big event like this. So many different angles.
It really does. And I think the takeaway, maybe, is that these events, Wimbledon, they're more than just sports tournaments, aren't they?
Seems that way.
They're like these cultural showcases, all these layers of human interest, ambition, romance, struggle, branding, it all plays out right there side by side. And it makes you think, doesn't it? What is it about this mix that fascinates us so much? The celebrity relationships, the personal challenges, all happening against this backdrop of elite competition. What does that fascination maybe say about us?
That's a deep thought to end on. It really does make you wonder, yeah. How many stories can one single event hold? And what do we actually learn when we take the time to dive into them like this?
Something to ponder.
Definitely something to ponder.
Yeah.
Well, that's all we have time for on this deep dive. Thanks for joining us.
AIAI, when the boss talks gossip.